Hey, it's Django from Calvander Sound. Today we're going to talk about soloing, and this is something I get asked a lot, which is how do I build a solo? How do I make a solo? Okay, I've learned the scale, let's say it's minor pentatonic, and now what do I do with it? I've got this big pile of elements and I don't know how to put it together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a 12-bar blues, which we've looked at before. You can see the lesson on playing 12-bar blues voicing using the skeletal voicings and another lesson here on the channel. And we're going to do it in B flat. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a solo. Now, one of the biggest issues with playing a solo, once you know a scale, for instance this minor pentatonic scale, is that there are almost too many choices. There are too many places you can go and get distracted from what's really happening in a solo, which is that you're building a story, that you're taking a simple idea and you're developing it. So what we want to do is simplify. And simplifying a solo means taking away a lot of your choices. So at first this may seem almost too elementary, but let's just take two strings. So we've got our here's our 12 bar. So there's our form, and you can practice the chords. I think you'll find that really helpful actually to be really good at the chord progression before you start working on solo. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take just the middle two strings, the D string, which is your first and third finger, and the G string. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to build a solo. Now, okay, you've got 4 notes. How do you build something with only 4 notes? Well, first of all, you don't use them all at once. So the first phrase should not be, because after that, you've used all of your elements. So we're going to start simply. We're going to leave a lot of space, and we're going to create just a simple idea. So we're just going to start with just 2 notes. In fact, I lied. We're going to start with 1 note. So we go. So I was playing the chords in between so you could hear what was happening, but basically I went 1, 2, 3, 4, bum, bum, I've only used 2 of my notes, but I've already established a very simple idea that I'm going to develop. So it's this 1 note. So I've gone through a whole series of the 12-bar blues now, and I've only used 3 of the notes out of 4, so I've still got another note. So let's look at that. One of the biggest hurdles for people when they're playing a solo and trying to learn how to solo is leaving enough space. The solution to that is basically play something very short, something that you can remember, and then stop and listen. Listen to the chords going by. Now you might think, hey, I'm not playing anything. What if people think I don't know what I'm doing? But actually, the more space you leave, the better it's going to sound. Because the thing is, when you're not playing lead, there's still music going on. There are the chords going by, and your lead is part of a bigger piece of music. The problem that a lot of soloists have is they think, oh, if I'm not playing, then nothing's happening. That's not actually true. If there's music going on, if there's a rhythm going on, then that's happening. And so by creating some negative space in your soloing, you'll be creating tension, you'll be giving yourself somewhere to build, and you'll be showing that you understand how to solo. So I'm going to go through again And this time I'm going to build it a little bit more. I'm going to play 2 times through. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was a longer one, so I'm going to leave some more space. So that time, there's a very long phrase at the end. I even bent. The main thing is that I'm adding new rhythms. So when you build a solo, say like this type of blues solo, you want to start really simply, but you want it to be definitive. One of the biggest things that I see in students when they're trying to solo is that they forget when they leave the tap running. So they go, and they think they've stopped, but they haven't stopped. The note is still ringing. So what I want you to do is be very clear about when your line stops. And for now, let's try to end the last notes of each phrase with relatively short notes so that the space can really be space. Because if you think you're leaving space, but it's still ringing, you're not leaving space. Now the other thing is, once you've gotten an idea and you've played it, you want to play it again. And then you want to change it a little bit. So the first time was that one note, and then I added first and third. And then I did that again, but I doubled the high note. I could do that all day long, and it could build a really big solo. Then, by establishing this kind of smaller scale for where your notes are going to be, when you add that third note, when you add that third note, it's going to sound like you've opened up this incredible, colorful world because you've gotten the listener used to these just a couple of notes. So then, when you unleash all 4 notes at the end, it sounds like you're, as you'd say, shredding. So I want you to try this with a 12-bar blues, and just take the middle 2 strings and see if you can start with a simple idea, repeat it, build it by changing the rhythms or expanding on it, and then maybe start a new idea that expands to the next note, and then bring back to the first idea. And then at the end, maybe build it up so you're using all 4 notes with a little bit more active rhythms. I think if you try this kind of method of building a solo, you'll find that your solos have a lot more excitement to them. The number one thing, I'm just going to remind you, because it's the most important thing of all of this, is end your phrases definitively and leave space. If you think you're leaving enough space, double it. You're going to want to come in right here. Don't, go. If you can wait twice as long as you think you need to, you'll start to reset your ear so that your phrasing has some air to it, and that's such a valuable thing. So give this a shot, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please do subscribe to my channel. I do post lessons regularly there, and you can always find me at calvandersound.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.